On the third day of Chris's aircraft, I'm not Chris. This is the Stubbs 103. This is based on an aircraft that I made previously. This is a carrier-based tiny aircraft. It's very stubby, that's why it's named the Stubbs. It also has a tiny little cargo bay, although it's not super functional on this version. It was on the last version. You can see that can open up. However, as I've blocked it with this new design feature, which makes the landing gear a little bit better placed, that doesn't really work so much anymore. Yeah, I had to update it because it hadn't been updated in a very long time. There's been a graphics rehaul, and it just didn't look right if you imported the old version into the new version. It is supposed to be a carrier-based aircraft, as I said. Ooh, it still has the action group for bay doors. Yeah, let's get rid of that, because that definitely should not be there, because those are not super functional. So yes, it has an empty spot in it, but that is not to be used, at least at present. I suppose you could put things in there, but you can't. You just don't open it, okay? It has an extremely high thrust-to-weight ratio. Is a bit ridiculous like that, and of course it is a delta wing. Something I forgot to mention in the previous 2 days of this particular little video series is that those aircraft were both in KSP 1.10.0, and this one was actually in KSP 1.11, unlike them. And yes, it does have a little bit of trouble getting off the ground there, but when you drop it off of the edge of a carrier, it can pull up super fast and take off just fine. It is a carrier-based aircraft, like I said, so it's very good at handling that. And as you can see, it's very good at handling very high-intensity maneuvers. And that is kind of the point. That is why it has the giant control surfaces. Also, as you've just seen, if you let it stall out too much, you will lose an engine. And apparently that can lead to a flat spin. I have literally never had this happen before, but obviously you need to take some care with how you fly this. I also wanted to point out that there is a pretty major bug with KSP 1.11 at this time, which is that, how do I put it? I'm trying to think of the words right now and my brain is failing me. So the control surfaces. Normally I have certain settings, like these don't activate on yaw, these activate only for yaw, and these activate only for pitch. So the rear are roll and pitch, the front are pitch only, and the tail is, whoops, they lost consciousness. Oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. And they're dead now. Well, in any case, KSP 1.11 will reset those values on any craft that you load prior to KSP 1.11, so a lot of my craft, if you're trying to use them in the latest version, you will have to manually repair the control surfaces, which is unfortunate, because what the fuck, KSP? A related KSP bug is that the new settings for lights, I don't know if they save on old gear like this, I think they do, but the new lighting system, the new lights, they don't save settings. So I had planned on adding proper navigation lights and landing lights and taxi lights and anti-collision lights to all of my aircraft, but I made Gihet pass out again. I mean, she is a scientist, so it makes sense. Her G-force tolerances are not quite as high as one might like. But Kerbals all have ridiculously high G-force limits anyhow, because I mean, what human would withstand this? Actually, some would, okay, because that dropped down to like 7 Gs, but you can do like a sustained 10 G maneuver in KSP, and the Kerbals are just fine with it, which is a bit ridiculous. In any case, I can't add proper lighting to aircraft because you'd have to manually go and change all the colors. I believe they at least respect the blink settings. I think that's the only setting that actually saves, which is quite a huge oversight, and I really hate that. Unfortunately, KSP devs have, for quite a long time now, not been as careful with their releases as you'd expect someone to be, especially post 1.0. You'd think they'd put a little more time and attention into these details, but I guess the budget's just not there anymore. I wonder how it's selling. Is it not supporting the team anymore or something? In any case, this is designed for carrier landing, so it can land at an extremely low speed, as I will now demonstrate. I should have dropped the parachute sooner, and I forgot to deploy the brakes, so I took more distance to land there than intended. But in any case, hopefully you can see that she does stop rather quickly. She does often fall on one wing like that, which is unfortunate, but easy to recover from, as you have just seen me demonstrate, and easy to take off again. Of course, normally you'd want to repack that parachute before taking off again, but the drogue chute is not an essential component in this aircraft's short landing capability. I'm going to go ahead and deploy landing gear again, and try to... oh, I pitched down way too hard there. It will still stop very quickly, of course, but very broken as well. I was going to attempt to demonstrate the extremely short landing capability. Unfortunately, I don't have a carrier to demonstrate this on currently, but that's okay. In any case, get up to speed just a little bit, pull up ridiculously hard, and of course she's just fine with doing that. Oh, I forgot about the... so yeah, if you lose an engine at low speed like that, cut your throttle down rather low, because she can handle the low throttle just fine, but she can't easily handle the asymmetric thrust, because there is no vectoring on those little Weasleys. But otherwise it's fine. I'm going to go ahead and engage our brakes a little early here. I'm going to go ahead and throttle up just a little bit to maintain some flight speed. We're going to try to land on the end of the runway and land with a minimum distance landing. So we're going to have the throttle up just a little bit as we come in order to maintain airspeed, as I said. And we're going to try to... actually, we're going to cut the throttle now because we're going to gain too much speed otherwise. You can see I'm actually gaining speed as I descend. And I'm going to go ahead and deploy the drogue chute early because we need to lose that speed as quickly as possible. And now you can see, like I said, she will often land on her wings a little bit and do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight. But as you can see, otherwise, perfect landing and no damage occurred. And of course, you'd need to then... apparently I can't enable steering. Apparently I can't right-click on the craft at all. Oh, now I can. That's weird. I can't... there we go. Alright, enable some steering, disengage the brakes. Oh, my throttle is up just a little bit, and you can see she turns around very quickly. Unfortunately, I did manage to drop things down just a bit there. That's it's interesting that it didn't want to make the flap go down at all. They want to go up, but not down so much. I guess that's because they are for both pitch and yaw. In any case, you should probably turn that off for landing and for takeoff. In this case, I didn't really. And of course, this thing has absurdly high thrust, so even with the throttle this low, we still have an extremely high, relatively high thrust-to-weight ratio. No other aircraft would be giving you a 0.4 at this low of a throttle. Okay, maybe not no other aircraft, but most other aircraft would not. And most other aircraft cannot maintain stable flight at such low speeds. Go ahead and turn on the SAS though. And my wall just got knocked on, which I assume means that I was too loud, which is unfortunate. Or that I need to check my messages. Throttle up just a little bit there to make sure that I wasn't going to hit the building. And now you can see we're on the ground safely, and I'm going to engage full brakes. Anyhow, thanks for watching, and as always, I'll see you somewhere.